Texas Governor Greg Abbott, his poll numbers right now suck, right? Of course, he's killing people in the state. He's causing a whole lot of problems. No health care, electricity blowing to smithereens. I mean, there are a lot of things going wrong in Texas. This state that everybody likes to think is this panacea of great governmental management by a conservative group that is really what's doing is killing its citizens, not only from COVID, but from lack of insurance and a lot more, just protecting a good 5 or 10% of the population, and that population votes in droves. Well, with him, with the masses really finding out that he's in bad shape or he's no good, his poll numbers are where they have never been before. But Matthew Dodd has an important point to make, and I love that he did it. Because I tell you what, Democrats will only win the governorship if we remember these thoughts. These are prescient. Check this out.
You put up the poll numbers for Governor Abbott, and I know you were saying 40 or 41%. Why do they still support? Keep in mind that Governor Abbott has ever polled at. He's usually always polled at 50% or higher, which is why he's won the elections in the past. So he's at a low point, and I think it's going to keep going lower. He is exceedingly, in my view, vulnerable, but he has to be vulnerable to the right candidate with the right message and a good campaign. And this is where I have a tendency sometimes to get frustrated with Democrats who I'm advocating for, who need to win every office they possibly can, especially here in Texas, because it's the only way to save our population and save our republic is to do that. But the problem is Democrats often cede the messaging ground to Republicans. And what Democrats have a tendency to do is talk policy points and process, and Republicans talk values. And in a debate like that, voters ultimately vote based on values. They want to have policy. They're concerned about those things, but they want to know that you share the same values. And Democrats have to start talking about all these issues, choice, COVID, all of these issues in a broad value context. And they should not cede, as you just let in, the ground of pro-life. Republicans are not pro-life. They won't do anything about gun deaths. They won't do anything about COVID. They won't do anything about health care. They won't even expand Medicaid here, where 90% of the costs would be borne by the federal government. They won't even do it. It won't cost the state anything, but they won't do it out of some lack of compassion or uncaring place in this. But Democrats fundamentally have to talk about this better. You can be pro-choice, as I am, and pro-life, as I am, and believe that a woman has a right to choose, and it's her moral choice, and it's her choice with her doctor to choose, but you also can simultaneously be pro-life and protecting women and children and people from guns and all of the other things on this. But I think Democrats have to get much, 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 much better, even progressives on this, having a values-based argument about what the Republicans are doing are disconnected from American values and disconnected from the values us and a majority of us in Texas believe in.
And he is absolutely right on every single point. And I want to add a little bit more context to that. Every single Texas Democrat running statewide need not cede any county, any district, any precinct. Every single Democrat should go into Yoakum, Texas, look for the hospital, the closest hospital there, and let them know. Remember what he talks about? We talk policy, they talk value. The policy is we are going to provide you health care via the Affordable Care Act, which ensures that hospitals are open and ensures that everybody has health care. You go into Yoakum, Texas, you go into Brenham, Texas, where they close those rural hospitals, and you can say, this hospital is closed because those who represented you failed to pass the policies that we support that keeps that hospital open so that your mama, who is 90 years old, if she gets a heart attack or if she gets something, you can get her to the hospital quicker before she dies having to go to Houston, Dallas, San Antonio, El Paso, Lubbock, or one of these other major Texas centers. All those small hospitals are closing because of their policies. Let's remember that. You know that little school that your kid wants to go to? It is closed because of their policies. You know the post office that used to give you more services. It's not there because of those guys. We are going to make it better for you. Not only that, when it comes to healthcare, we're going to make sure that you don't even have to talk about these issues. You have to go to the people. Look, there are some people that are so ideologically burnt that they will kill themselves to maintain their ideology. It lends to question that guy who's on a ventilator, on oxygen, after being on a ventilator, and they said, would you take the vaccine now? And he said, no, I like my freedom. Wow. It wasn't your freedom when I had to pay for the ventilator. It wasn't your freedom when I had to pay for these things to take care of you, but you want your freedom to take mine away, right? We have to make sure. Again, we're not going to win them all, but we're going to win enough of them to make it count. But what we do, as Dowd said, is we seed the message, we seed the locality, we seed everything to these guys. By them pointing out they're pro-life, we then just say, oh, we're pro-choice. No, we are pro-choice and pro-life. They are pro-death. They are pro-disease. They are anti-science. Let's make it clear, and let's talk to the values of people. We spend a lot of time deconstructing the news, trying to parse it into a form that everybody can understand. We try to find those little nitpicks where it flies above the fray, etc. If you really like these videos that we do, I want to ask a big favor. Please go ahead, number one, subscribe to our channel, and number two, please join if you can. Thank you so kindly for watching. Keep watching. Please remember to share. We must populate the entire internet with our progressive message, a message that we know is what most Americans say that they want. So help us, please join.